Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated. Today we're going to talk about how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. Some of the things we're going to talk about today are starting a trimmer. Next we're going to talk about the safety considerations. And next we're going to talk about the operation of a gas trimmer. And lastly we're going to talk about the maintenance and long-term storage of your trimmer. Your gas fuel mixture should always be a minimum of 89 octane and mixed at a 50:1 gas-oil ratio. Then you're going to need trimmer line. Trimmer line comes in many different sizes, many different colors, and many different variable options. This particular line is 080 crossfire line, so it's 81 thousandths of an inch thick, and it's in a star pattern. So those are two of the things you're going to need to use your gas string trimmer. Then you want to think about the safety apparel that you're going to need. First, you're going to need a nice set of leather gloves. You want to make sure and have ear protection as well as eye protection. Wear long sleeves, long pants, and make sure always to wear closed-toed shoes. Those are just some of the things you're going to need to use your trimmer. I've got over 10 years of experience working with end users, dealers, and distributors on how to use and maintain, demonstrate, and merchandise their outdoor power equipment. I've been with Echo for more than 4 years, who's a leading manufacturer of outdoor power equipment for the last 30 years. So now let's get started. I'm going to show you how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated. And today we're going to talk about how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. So now let's talk about how to mix our gas and fuel into a 50:1 gas mixture. Then we're going to move on to the proper starting procedures on your gas string trimmer. So what I've got here is a 1-gallon gas can filled halfway with 89 octane fuel and a 2.6 fluid ounce bottle of 2-stroke oil. What you want to do is fill the 1-gallon gas can halfway with that 89 octane. Unscrew your 2-stroke oil. It's going to come with an aluminum foil top to prevent leaking, so you want to bust that. You want to dump all 2.6 ounces into the container. Now it's time to put the cap on and mix it up. One thing to consider when you do this is to make sure and do this in a well-ventilated area with safety glasses and gloves on. So we'll put our cap on tight, shake it up, take our cap off. So now that we've added our oil, we're going to finish topping this off to 1 full gallon. So 1 full gallon with 2.6 fluid ounces is going to make a 50:1 gas fuel mixture. And now we're ready to fuel our machine. Unscrew the cap and fill up your machine. As you can see, this tank is translucent, so you can see the level of fuel that you have. So we'll screw our gas cap back on. So now let's go outside and start our gas trimmer. So the starting procedures, you have a cold start and a warm start. On a cold start, you want to make sure that your on-off switch is to the on position. The unit is placed firmly on the ground with no obstructions around it. You want to make sure you have your left hand placed firmly over the throttle lock. You want to place the choke lever to the cold start position. On a cold start, you'd push the purge valve 5 to 6 times, making sure that it's filled with fuel. So now you're ready to pull the recoil. So on a cold start, you'll pull the recoil 2 to 3 times. You'll hear the engine burp. Then we'll put it to the run position and then pull the recoil 2 to 3 more times. So we'll go ahead and start to fire the machine right now. Okay, so the machine acted like it wanted to start. We take it off of the cold start position down to run. And again, keeping the unit firmly on the ground with your left hand over the throttle lock. And then we'll pull the recoil 2 to 3 more times and it should fire. So in a warm starting position, you want to make sure that the unit is firmly on the ground with no obstructions around it. First thing you want to do is make sure that your on-off switch is to the run position. Your left hand covers the throttle lock but not giving it any fuel. And your choke lever is at the run position. So on a warm start, there's no need to press the purge valve because the engine's already warm. Set it to the run position and the unit should fire on the first or second pull. So let's go ahead and start the machine. So now that we've talked about the cold start and warm start starting procedures, let's talk about the recoil. You'll find many different models with easy assist from 30% all the way up to 75% of the energy taken away that's needed to start your machine. Now that's what you need to get your string trimmer started. Up next, let's talk about the safety considerations you need when using your gas string trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated. And today we're here talking about how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. And now let's talk about some of the safety considerations you need to know when you use your gas string trimmer. So let's talk about some of the safety apparel that you're going to need while using your gas string trimmer. First, you want to have a pair of leather gloves. These are going to protect your hands from flying debris and give you a safe handle on your machine. Secondly, you obviously want to wear a pair of glasses to protect your eyes. And then you want to have ear protection. These gas trimmers run at a high decibel, so you want to make sure and protect your hearing. If you can, wear long sleeve shirts with a long pair of pants and closed-toed shoes. While using your trimmer, you always want to make sure that you're aware of where the muffler is. It's a hot surface, so be careful. Before starting trimming, you want to make sure and clear the area of all children and pets, and make sure that there's no obstacles in your trimming area. Make sure that you're walking the correct speed. You don't want to trip while using your gas string trimmer. Up next, let's talk about the actual operation of your gas string trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated. Today we're talking about how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. And now let's talk about the actual operation. First, you want to check and make sure that there's no debris or sports equipment or kids' toys in your work area. If you hit something while you're using your gas string trimmer, it could fly up in your face, into a neighbor's vehicle or the house and do injury. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you're courteous with your neighbors. You want to make sure that there isn't any noise ordinances or hours of use that you need to be made aware of. Now that I've showed you how to use your gas string trimmer, let's talk about how to refill your bump head. This particular unit uses an easy wind system. I'm going to use a short piece of line. In most cases with bump heads, you can use up to 25 foot of 095 line. There's many different heads on the market. This is one specific that is easy loading. So for this one, you want to line up the points, put one end on each side, hold the unit with your left hand, and simply wind it until it's tight. Once it's wound, simply cut the line, and you're ready to start trimming. And with this model, as you can see, as the line goes down, you simply pull it out from the inside and replace them with new line. One thing to consider is, before you do any kind of replacement of line, you want to make sure that the trimmer is completely off. Up next, let's talk about the long-term storage and maintenance of your gas string trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated, and today we're here talking about how to use and maintain your gas string trimmer. And now let's talk about the long-term storage and maintenance of your gas string trimmer. First thing you want to check is your fuel lines. You want to make sure that there's no cracking or leaking, as well as your purge valve. You want to make sure it's in good working order, it's not leaking, and there's no cracks. Secondly, you want to check your air filter. You want to make sure that the plastic's not cracked and there's no visible light through the filter. Next, you want to check your spark plug. You want to make sure that it has the correct gapping and that it's not blackened from the fuel. Next thing you want to check is your on-off switch to make sure it works properly. Check your throttle cable that there's nothing impeding its movement. Make sure that your handle and your garter tightened up. You also want to check your trimmer head to make sure it's in good working order, then it's tightly fastened. You may want to consider buying a repower kit. This kit contains a spark plug, a fuel filter, and an air filter. I'd recommend that you do this at least 1 to 2 times per year to keep your gas string trimmer in good working order. So now let's talk about the long-term storage of your machine. First thing you want to do is perform all of those service-related items. You want to make sure and remove all of your fuel before you hang your unit up for the winter. You want to make sure that you run the machine until it dies and there's no fuel left in the carburetor or the fuel lines. You want to check to make sure that everything is tight, your handle's tight, your shield's tight. You want to make sure that it's free of any debris and that it's solid before you hang it up. So that's how you use and maintain your gas string trimmer. I hope these tips have been helpful to you. Good luck.